Hey everyone, welcome back to another Motivation Monday podcast for Monday, October 23rd, 2017. Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend and hope you're ready to get this week started off on the right foot. Hey, do you appreciate content like this? Does it help you out in your practicing and your life in music? Well, please head over to patreon.com/10-minute jazz lesson and support the podcast by donating $3 a month. You get all kinds of exclusive content, and you can feel really good about keeping the podcast in business and keeping the content coming at you brand new and fresh every single week. Thank you. We really appreciate it. You can either go to our website and follow the Patreon link or go to patreon.com/10-minute jazz lesson. All right, let's get into today's episode. So today we're going to talk about how I stumbled upon a Reddit thread about a year ago that really saved my ears and really showed me a planned out way to get better at ear training every day. Now, there's so many different ways. There's so many apps out there. There's so many different tools. If you're in school right now, I have no doubt that you're in an ear training class. So what I'm going to talk about today certainly isn't the only way to get better at ear training, but I found that it is absolutely the best system by one of the masters of jazz education, one of the absolute pillars of modern music education, and that is David Baker. If you don't know who David Baker is, you should definitely go out and do some research. He's one of the most legendary jazz educators ever, taught at Indiana University. Unfortunately, he passed away about a year ago, and the whole jazz world kind of felt that because he was just such an important figure, especially when it came to learning bebop. And I know we've been exploring bebop a lot the past couple of weeks on the podcast, so we're going to talk about this David Baker's Guide to Jazz Ear Training. Now, if you go into Google and you just type in Reddit, David Baker's Guide to Jazz Ear Training, you'll be able to find this Reddit post, no problem. This is truly the most comprehensive ear training system that I have ever come across. And if you were to complete everything on this list, then you would have ears of a champion. There would literally be not much that you couldn't hear, and that would transfer over to your playing and your knowledge of jazz like you would not believe. So I just wanted to do a quick overview of this. What it basically is on the thread is a 22-step program, and each step is going to be more work than you could ever imagine. But by completing these steps, you have a tailor-made way to have probably the best ears out of anybody that you will know, especially if you're not somebody who has a natural ability to hear things. Like, I'm definitely like that. I remember back in high school, some of my peers, they could hear anything. They just had a natural ability to pick stuff up and use it, turn it into material in their playing. And I had to work really, really, really hard to get my ears where they are right now. And they're still not that good. I'm still working every single day on this because I truly think that it's the most important thing when it comes to playing jazz, is ear training. So let's take a look at number 1 on the list. Now, keep in mind, this is just step 1 of 22 steps. Here's what step 1 says. The player should practice singing and recognizing intervals. He should have somebody play the intervals for him while he names them. He should name the intervals and sing them. The player should play a note on his instrument and then name any other note and sing it. So, think about what this is if you truly go to unpack it. I think most of us practice ear training by maybe playing intervals on the piano and naming them, or having an app play intervals and naming them. But this is talking about not only being able to name played intervals, but also being able to sing all of those intervals, right? So that's a whole nother ball of wax, as they say. I remember when I could finally get to the point where I could name any interval really, really reliably. And then I went and tried to actually sing all of them. And that was a lot harder because now you have to have control over another instrument, which is the human voice. So this gets a lot harder, and it's a whole nother wrinkle. Then he also incorporates your instrument, right? So a lot of us sit down at the piano to practice ear training, but have you ever practiced ear training with your actual instrument? Let's say you play trumpet. Have you ever been able to do the last part of step one where you play a note on the trumpet, name another note, sing it, and then play it to check your accuracy? That right there is something that could take you a couple of months to be able to get really good at. So let's take a look at number two, because I just want to show you how in-depth this goes. So number two is he should extend the interval practice by playing a note, then arbitrarily naming 8 or 10 other intervals, each interval measured from the last interval. So example, play C, say major third, sing E, say tritone, sing B flat, say major third, sing D, etc., etc. At the end of a given period of time, he should play a note on his instrument to check for accuracy. So this is not only being able to play and sing intervals, it's being able to play and sing a series of intervals that build on top of each other and create a compound effect. So it's the same idea as practicing ear training with a movable dough, right? That becomes a lot harder when you're not just staying in one key. So, I mean, those are just the first two steps out of 22. It could it can sound very, very, very daunting, but just like anything with music, it comes from consistent repetition of doing this, doing it every single day and experiencing those little gains from day to day that over the course of a couple of years add up to big time improvement with your ears and big time improvement on your instrument. All right. So go out and search for David Baker's Guide to Jazz Ear Training on Reddit, and you will find that thread, no problem. Save it and start working on it today. I'm telling you, there's probably nothing better that you could do for your musicianship starting today than starting to follow David Baker's ear training program. All right, I hope that is of benefit to some of you guys. Get out there and do it. And we'll see you on Friday with a brand new podcast. I hope you have an awesome week. Get on the instrument, get inspired. Talk to you guys soon.